In the shadowy recesses of the ancient temple of Neith, silence reigned, broken only by the faint rustling of papyrus leaves in the night breeze. The temple, a labyrinthine structure of limestone and obsidian, stood as a timeless sentinel in the heart of the Nile Delta. It was here, among the sacred columns and enigmatic hieroglyphs, that Nephra found herself drawn, as if by an invisible thread woven through the very fabric of her soul. Nephra, a novice priestess barely past her 16th year, had always felt a profound connection to Neith, the great weaver, whose domain extended beyond mere threads and arrows to the very essence of creation itself. Tonight, under the waxing moon, she was to perform a ritual that had been whispered about in the temple's ancient scrolls, but never openly discussed: the rite of renewal. It was said that through this rite, one could invoke the creative powers of Neith, channeling the primordial forces to rejuvenate the soul and align oneself with the goddess's infinite wisdom. Clad in a simple linen robe, her dark hair bound in a tight braid, Nephra moved with quiet determination through the torch-lit corridors. Her heart pounded not just from the gravity of the ritual she was about to undertake, but from the weight of secrecy. For while the senior priestesses had hinted at the rite's existence, they had never spoken of its true purpose or its ultimate power. The lore she had discovered in the temple's hidden library, buried beneath layers of dust and neglect, spoke of a ritual both intimate and profound, an act of solitary creation meant to honor Neith's own act of self-generation in the primordial waters. As she entered the inner sanctum, the air grew cooler, and the flickering light from the braziers cast dancing shadows on the walls, each one telling a different story from the temple's storied past. In the center of the chamber stood a low altar, its surface covered with symbols of fertility and renewal. Nephra approached it, her hands trembling slightly as she set down the small clay vessels containing sacred oils and unguents, each chosen for their significance to the rite. Taking a deep breath, she began the ritual as instructed in the ancient text. Her voice, though soft, echoed through the chamber as she chanted the invocation to Neith, her words blending with the faint murmurs of the Nile beyond the temple walls. The oil felt cool against her skin as she anointed herself, a symbol of purification and readiness. The scent of myrrh and frankincense filled the air, creating a heady atmosphere that seemed to blur the lines between the physical and the divine. With each movement, Nephra felt the presence of Neith grow stronger, as if the goddess herself was guiding her through the ancient dance. Her senses heightened, she became acutely aware of the power coursing through her veins, a primal energy that seemed to resonate with the very stones of the temple. It was as if she was no longer merely a novice priestess, but a vessel for something far greater, a conduit for the divine essence of creation itself. As the ritual progressed, she felt a profound sense of connection not just to Neith, but to all the women who had come before her, each one a thread in the vast tapestry of the goddess's legacy. She understood now why this rite had been kept secret, why it was never spoken of openly. It was not just a ritual of renewal, but a rite of empowerment, a way for each woman to tap into the wellspring of her own creative potential and align herself with the cosmic forces that shaped the world. When the final words of the chant faded into the silence, Nephra felt a deep sense of peace settle over her. She opened her eyes to find the chamber bathed in a soft, ethereal glow, as if the very air had been imbued with the light of 1,000 stars. She knew then that she had been blessed by Neith, that the goddess had accepted her offering and bestowed upon her the gift of renewal. As she stood there, bathed in the sacred light, Nephra felt a renewed sense of purpose. She was no longer merely a novice priestess, but a true initiate of Neith, a keeper of the ancient mysteries. The knowledge she had gained tonight was more than just the secret of the ritual. It was a profound understanding of her place in the world and her connection to the divine. With a heart full of reverence and determination, Nephra turned and made her way back through the temple's labyrinthine corridors, the echoes of her footsteps blending with the whispers of the ancient stones. She knew that her journey was only beginning, but she was ready to face whatever lay ahead, guided by the light of Neith and the ancient wisdom she had now become a part of. The days following the rite of renewal were a whirlwind of sensations and revelations for Nephra. Her senses seemed to sharpen, every sight and sound imbued with a new significance. Colors were more vibrant, the scent of blooming lotus flowers sweeter, and the chants of her fellow priestesses more resonant. It was as if the goddess Neith had awakened something within her, something that connected her more deeply to the world around her. Nephra threw herself into her studies with a renewed vigor. The temple's library, once a place of silent reverence, now felt like a treasure trove of secrets waiting to be uncovered. She pored over scrolls and tablets, her fingers tracing the faded hieroglyphs that told stories of creation, war, and the divine interplay between gods and mortals. Each text seemed to pulse with the same energy she had felt during the ritual, and she devoured them eagerly, seeking to understand her newfound connection to Neith. The senior priestesses noticed the change in her. They watched as she moved through her duties with a grace and confidence that belied her age and inexperience. There were whispers among them, murmurs of approval and envy, but Nephra paid them little mind. Her focus was on the knowledge she sought, the mysteries of the temple that now felt tantalizingly close to her grasp. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and cast long shadows across the temple courtyard, Nephra found herself drawn to the sacred well. It was said to be a place of great power, where the goddess Neith had first woven the fabric of existence from the primordial waters. The well, surrounded by intricately carved stone, was a place of pilgrimage for those seeking wisdom and guidance, and tonight, Nephra felt an irresistible pull to its depths. The air around the well was thick with the scent of jasmine and the soft hum of insects. Nephra approached the edge, her reflection wavering in the dark water below. She took a deep breath and closed her eyes, whispering a prayer to Neith for guidance. As she stood there, a vision began to take shape in her mind's eye, a swirling tapestry of colors and shapes, patterns that seemed to echo the divine order of the universe. In the vision, Nephra saw herself standing at the heart of a vast desert, the sun blazing overhead. Around her, the sands shifted and swirled, forming intricate designs that mirrored the ones she had seen in the temple scrolls. She felt a powerful surge of energy, as if the desert itself were alive with the presence of the goddess. Suddenly the sands parted, revealing a hidden chamber beneath the surface, its walls covered in ancient inscriptions. The vision faded as quickly as it had come, leaving Nephra breathless and trembling. She knew what she had seen was no mere figment of her imagination. It was a message, a calling from Neith herself. The hidden chamber in the desert was real, and it held the key to a deeper understanding of the goddess's mysteries. Nephra felt a thrill of excitement mixed with a tinge of fear. The journey ahead would be perilous, but she knew she could not ignore the call. In the days that followed, Nephra made her preparations. She gathered supplies for the journey, consulting the temple's ancient maps and seeking advice from the senior priestesses, though she kept the true purpose of her quest hidden. Her heart raced with anticipation as the day of her departure approached. The vision of the hidden chamber haunted her dreams, and she could feel the weight of Neith's expectations pressing down on her. On the morning of her departure, Nephra stood at the edge of the temple grounds, the rising sun casting a golden glow over the landscape. She took a deep breath, steeling herself for the journey ahead. The desert stretched out before her, an endless expanse of sand and sky, its secrets buried beneath the shifting dunes. With a final prayer to Neith for protection and guidance, Nephra set off, her steps firm and resolute. The journey was arduous, the heat of the desert sun relentless as Nephra trudged through the sands. Days blurred into nights, and her mind was filled with visions of the hidden chamber and the secrets it held. She pressed on, driven by a sense of purpose that seemed to come from deep within her soul. The goddess Neith was guiding her. She could feel it in every gust of wind and every grain of sand that slipped through her fingers. After what felt like an eternity, Nephra finally reached the place she had seen in her vision. The sands parted before her, revealing the entrance to the hidden chamber. Her heart pounded in her chest as she descended into the darkness, the air growing cooler as she ventured deeper. The walls of the chamber were covered in ancient inscriptions, just as she had seen in her vision, and she felt a thrill of recognition as she traced the symbols with her fingertips. At the heart of the chamber, she found a pedestal upon which rested a small, intricately carved box. Nephra approached it reverently, her breath catching in her throat as she lifted the lid. Inside, she found a scroll, its surface covered in dense, flowing script. She knew immediately that this was the knowledge she had been seeking, the secret of the goddess Neith that had been hidden for millennia. With trembling hands, Nephra unrolled the scroll and began to read. The words seemed to glow with an inner light, their meaning unfolding before her eyes like the petals of a flower. The scroll spoke of the creation of the world, the balance of chaos and order, and the eternal cycle of life and death. It was a revelation, a profound understanding of the divine forces that shaped the universe and the role of the priestesses who served Neith. As Nephra read, she felt a deep sense of awe and gratitude. She had been chosen to receive this knowledge, to carry the wisdom of Neith back to the temple and share it with her fellow priestesses. Her journey had only just begun, but she knew that she had found her true purpose. With the scroll clutched to her chest, Nephra made her way back to the surface, her heart filled with the light of the goddess and the promise of a new dawn. As the sun's first light crept over the horizon, Nephra returned to the temple, weary but triumphant. Her journey through the desert had left her parched and sunburned, yet her spirit burned with a newfound fervor. The scroll she had discovered, clutched tightly in her hands, was a tangible testament to her encounter with Neith's mysteries. It was as if the goddess herself had guided her steps through the endless dunes, leading her to the sacred knowledge hidden beneath the sands. Upon her return, Nephra was met with curious and concerned looks from the other priestesses. Her sudden departure and the secrecy surrounding her quest had fueled much speculation. Whispers echoed through the temple's stone corridors, but Nephra paid them no heed. Her mind was consumed with the revelations contained within the scroll, and she longed to share her discovery with the high priestess Ankhet, whose wisdom and authority she deeply respected. Nephra found Ankhet in the temple's inner sanctum, engaged in meditation. The high priestess, an imposing figure with silver-streaked hair and eyes that seemed to pierce through the veil of time, opened her eyes as Nephra approached. Without a word, Nephra handed her the scroll, the weight of its importance evident in her trembling hands. Ankhet's eyes widened as she unrolled the ancient parchment, her expression a mix of awe and astonishment. For a moment the chamber was silent, the only sound the faint rustle of the scroll as Ankhet read its contents. Then in a voice tinged with reverence, she spoke. "You have done something extraordinary, Nephra. This scroll, it speaks of the very essence of creation, the balance of forces that govern our world. It is a gift from Neith herself, a revelation meant to guide us in our sacred duty." Nephra felt a swell of pride and humility. "I felt the goddess's presence guiding me," she said quietly. "It was as if she was leading me to this knowledge, showing me the way." Ankhet nodded, her gaze softening. "You have been chosen, Nephra. Neith has seen your devotion and has bestowed upon you a great responsibility. This knowledge must be shared with the others, but it must also be protected. Not all will understand its power or its purpose." Over the following days, Nephra worked closely with Ankhet to decipher the scroll's contents. Together, they pored over its intricate script, their combined efforts unraveling the deeper meanings embedded within the text. The scroll spoke of the primordial waters from which all life emerged, the delicate balance between chaos and order, and the sacred rites that maintained the harmony of the universe. It described rituals of renewal and creation, acts that mirrored Neith's own weaving of the cosmos, and detailed the responsibilities of those chosen to serve her. As Nephra and Ankhet delved deeper into the scroll's teachings, they began to implement changes within the temple. New rituals were introduced, incorporating elements of the ancient rites described in the scroll. The priestesses were taught to align their energies with the cycles of nature, to understand the flow of creation and destruction, and to honor Neith through acts of reverence and creativity. The temple's daily practices took on a renewed sense of purpose, infused with the divine wisdom that Nephra had brought back from the desert. Word of the scroll's discovery spread, and soon the temple became a beacon of knowledge and enlightenment. Pilgrims from distant lands traveled to Sais, drawn by the promise of wisdom and the chance to partake in the sacred rites of Neith. The temple's influence grew, and Nephra found herself at the center of a spiritual renaissance, her connection to Neith and the ancient mysteries guiding her every step. Despite the accolades and the reverence with which she was treated, Nephra remained humble. She understood that her journey was not about personal glory, but about fulfilling her sacred duty to the goddess. The knowledge she had uncovered was a gift, a tool to help others find their own path to enlightenment and harmony. She continued to serve in the temple, her days filled with teaching, ritual, and meditation, always seeking to deepen her understanding of Neith's mysteries. One evening, as the sun set and the temple was bathed in a golden glow, Nephra stood at the edge of the sacred well, reflecting on the journey that had brought her here. The desert, the hidden chamber, the ancient scroll, all of it had been part of a divine plan, a path that had led her to a deeper understanding of herself and her place in the world. She felt a profound sense of gratitude, her heart swelling with the knowledge that she was part of something greater, a living thread in the tapestry woven by Neith herself. As she gazed into the well's dark waters, a vision unfolded before her eyes. A vast, shimmering expanse of stars, each one a spark of divine light. She saw the cosmos in all its glory, a magnificent dance of creation and destruction, order and chaos. And at the center of it all, she saw Neith, her hands weaving the threads of existence, her eyes filled with a serene wisdom that transcended time and space. The vision faded, and Nephra was left with a deep sense of peace. She knew that her journey was far from over, that there were still many mysteries to unravel and many challenges to face. But she also knew that she was not alone. The goddess Neith was with her, guiding her steps and illuminating her path. With a heart full of reverence and a soul alight with purpose, Nephra turned away from the well, ready to embrace whatever lay ahead. In the months and years that followed, Nephra's influence within the temple grew. She became a respected teacher, a keeper of the ancient mysteries, and a guiding light for those seeking to understand Neith's wisdom. Her journey through the desert, her discovery of the hidden chamber, and the sacred scroll had transformed her, forging her into a beacon of knowledge and spiritual insight. Nephra's legacy endured long after her time. The teachings she had uncovered, the rituals she had revived, and the wisdom she had shared continued to inspire generations of priestesses. The Temple of Neith became a place of pilgrimage and learning, a sanctuary where seekers of truth could find guidance and enlightenment. And through it all, the spirit of Neith remained ever present, a timeless force of creation and renewal, guiding those who sought to understand the divine mysteries and align themselves with the eternal rhythms of the cosmos. The seasons turned, and Nephra's life in the Temple of Neith became a harmonious rhythm of teaching, ritual, and reflection. The knowledge she had uncovered continued to shape the practices of the priestesses, infusing their daily rituals with a profound sense of purpose and connection to the divine. Yet, despite the temple's newfound vitality and her elevated role, a sense of unease began to settle in Nephra's heart. The scroll, with its intricate teachings on the balance of creation and destruction, had hinted at deeper mysteries that still eluded her. There were passages she could not fully decipher, symbols whose meanings danced just beyond her grasp. Nephra felt an insistent tug, a whisper from the goddess Neith, urging her to seek out the hidden truths that lay beneath the surface of her understanding. One night, as the stars glittered above the temple, Nephra found herself unable to sleep. The familiar weight of the scroll's unanswered questions pressed heavily on her mind. She rose from her bed and slipped out of her chamber, the cool night air a welcome relief against her troubled thoughts. The temple was silent, the only sound the soft rustle of palm fronds in the breeze. Drawn by a sense of urgency she could not explain, Nephra made her way to the temple's hidden library. The library, a vast chamber lined with shelves of ancient scrolls and tablets, was a place of quiet contemplation and study. Its walls, adorned with faded murals of the goddess Neith, seemed to hum with the accumulated wisdom of centuries. Nephra lit a small oil lamp and moved through the rows of texts, her fingers trailing over the worn leather and papyrus. She felt a familiar thrill of discovery as she selected a volume from a high shelf, its cover embossed with symbols she recognized from her own scroll. As she settled onto a low stool and began to read, the words seemed to glow with an inner light, their meanings unfolding like the petals of a lotus flower. The text spoke of the cosmic balance, the eternal dance between creation and destruction, and the role of the priestesses in maintaining this harmony. It described ancient rites that had been lost to time, rituals of renewal and sacrifice that mirrored the goddess Neith's own acts of creation. Hours passed as Nephra immersed herself in the text, her mind racing to absorb the revelations it contained. She felt as though a veil had been lifted, exposing layers of meaning and understanding that she had only glimpsed before. The knowledge she had gained from the Desert Scroll began to take on new dimensions, its teachings interwoven with the insights she found in the library's ancient tomes. As dawn approached, Nephra made a discovery that sent a thrill of excitement through her. The text she had been studying spoke of a ritual known as the weaving of the veil, a ceremony that was said to grant its practitioner a direct vision of the divine order. This ritual, long forgotten by the temple's current practices, was described as a profound act of communion with Neith, allowing the initiate to perceive the hidden threads that connected all things. Determined to uncover the full details of the ritual, Nephra delved deeper into the library's collection. She found references to the weaving of the veil in several other texts, each providing fragments of the ritual's components. It became clear that this ceremony was not merely a symbolic act, but a powerful invocation of Neith's creative energy, requiring precise preparation and a deep understanding of the cosmic forces at play. The ritual demanded a sacred space, an alignment of celestial forces, and a series of offerings to honor the goddess. It also required the presence of the Eye of Neith, an artifact described as a symbol of the goddess's all-seeing wisdom. Nephra's heart raced as she read the description of the artifact, a crystalline orb said to reflect the true nature of the universe hidden somewhere within the temple grounds. Determined to find the Eye of Neith and perform the ritual, Nephra sought out Anket. The high priestess, though initially skeptical, was intrigued by Nephra's findings and agreed to help. Together, they combed through the temple's archives and consulted the elder priestesses, piecing together the ritual's requirements and the possible location of the eye. It was during one of these consultations that an elderly priestess mentioned an ancient chamber beneath the temple, long sealed and forgotten, rumored to house sacred artifacts from Neith's earliest followers. With renewed purpose, Nephra and Anket set about locating the hidden chamber. Their search led them to a neglected section of the temple, its entrance obscured by overgrown vines and crumbling masonry. After days of painstaking excavation, they uncovered a concealed doorway, its surface carved with the symbols of Neith and the Eye. Nephra's hands trembled with anticipation as they pried open the heavy stone door, revealing a narrow passageway that descended into the earth. The air within the passage was cool and damp, the scent of ancient earth mingling with the faint aroma of incense. Nephra and Anket moved cautiously, their lamps casting flickering shadows on the rough stone walls. As they reached the end of the passage, they found themselves in a small, dimly lit chamber. At its center stood a pedestal, upon which rested a crystalline orb, its surface shimmering with a soft, ethereal light. Nephra's breath caught in her throat as she approached the orb. She reached out, her fingers brushing its cool surface, and felt a surge of energy course through her. This was the Eye of Neith, the artifact she had sought, its presence a tangible link to the goddess's divine wisdom. With Anket's guidance, she carefully lifted the orb from its pedestal and cradled it in her hands, its light casting a gentle glow on her face. Returning to the temple's inner sanctum, Nephra and Anket prepared for the weaving of the veil. They purified the space, aligning it with the celestial forces described in the ancient texts. Offerings of sacred herbs, oils, and precious stones were arranged around the central altar, each one chosen for its symbolic resonance with Neith's creative power. The priestesses gathered, their expressions a mix of anticipation and reverence, as Nephra took her place at the center of the ritual space. As the ritual began, Nephra felt a profound sense of connection to the goddess. She chanted the sacred invocations, her voice steady and strong, as she held the Eye of Neith aloft. The orb's light intensified, filling the chamber with a radiant glow. Nephra's senses sharpened, and she felt as if she were standing at the heart of the cosmos, the threads of creation and destruction weaving around her in a mesmerizing dance. In that moment, Nephra experienced a vision unlike any she had known before. She saw the universe in all its complexity, the intricate patterns of stars and galaxies, the ebb and flow of time and space. She saw the delicate balance that held all things together, the eternal interplay of forces that shaped existence. And at the center of it all, she saw Neith, her hands weaving the cosmic tapestry, her eyes filled with a serene wisdom that transcended all understanding. The vision faded, and Nephra found herself back in the temple, the Eye of Neith still glowing softly in her hands. She felt a deep sense of peace and clarity, her heart swelling with gratitude for the knowledge she had been granted. The weaving of the veil had shown her the true nature of the universe, a revelation that would guide her in her sacred duties and deepen her connection to the goddess. In the days that followed, Nephra shared her vision with the other priestesses, her words inspiring a renewed devotion to the teachings of Neith. The temple flourished, its rituals and practices infused with the wisdom she had gained. The Eye of Neith became a cherished symbol of their faith, its light a constant reminder of the divine order that governed their lives. Nephra's journey of discovery had come full circle, her path illuminated by the goddess's guiding light. She had sought the mysteries of creation and found them in the depths of the temple and within her own soul. Her heart brimming with the love and wisdom of Neith, Nephra continued her service, knowing that she was part of a greater tapestry, a thread woven into the eternal fabric of existence. Nephra's revelation from the weaving of the veil ritual transformed her life and deepened her devotion to Neith. Her vision of the cosmic balance and the divine order became the cornerstone of her teachings, and the temple thrived under her guidance. Yet the more she learned, the more she realized how much there was still to uncover. The Eye of Neith, now housed in a place of honor within the temple, was a constant reminder of the mysteries that lay beyond her current understanding. One night, as Nephra meditated before the Eye, a profound sense of restlessness gripped her. She felt a calling, a whisper of destiny urging her to explore the uncharted realms of Neith's wisdom. The ancient text spoke of a final mystery, the heart of the weave, a concept so elusive that even the oldest scrolls only hinted at its nature. This mystery was said to be the ultimate understanding of Neith's creation, a truth that bound together all knowledge of the cosmos. Driven by this restless yearning, Nephra resolved to seek out the heart of the weave. Her journey would take her beyond the temple and the desert, into realms of thought and spirit that few had dared to explore. She confided her intentions to Enket, who, though concerned for Nephra's safety, understood the necessity of her quest. The high priestess offered her blessings and guidance, providing ancient maps and artifacts that might aid in her search. Nephra's first destination was the Temple of Thoth, a place renowned for its vast collection of esoteric knowledge. Located along the banks of the Nile, the temple was a center of learning and wisdom, its scribes dedicated to the preservation and dissemination of divine truths. Nephra hoped to find clues within its archives that would guide her to the heart of the weave. The journey to the Temple of Thoth was arduous, the heat of the sun relentless, as Nephra traveled by boat along the winding river. The landscape passed by in a blur of green reeds and golden sands, the rhythmic splash of oars, a steady accompaniment to her thoughts. She meditated on Neith's guidance, seeking clarity and strength for the trials ahead. Upon her arrival, Nephra was greeted with curiosity and respect. The scribes and priests of Thoth recognized her as a seeker of divine knowledge and welcomed her into their midst. They provided access to their extensive library, a labyrinth of scrolls and tablets that seemed to stretch into infinity. Nephra spent long hours immersed in the texts, her eyes scanning lines of hieroglyphs and pictograms, searching for any reference to the heart of the weave. Days turned into weeks as Nephra delved deeper into the temple's archives. The library's scrolls revealed fragments of ancient wisdom, tales of creation and destruction, and the interplay of divine forces. Yet, concrete clues to the heart of the weave remained elusive. It was in the most unexpected places that she found pieces of the puzzle. A cryptic inscription on a fragment of papyrus, a forgotten mural depicting the weaving of the cosmos, and an ancient prayer that spoke of the eternal pattern. One evening, Nephra stumbled upon a hidden alcove within the library, its entrance concealed behind a heavy tapestry. Inside, she found a collection of scrolls that had been untouched for generations, their surfaces coated in dust and age. As she carefully unrolled one of the scrolls, her heart leapt with excitement. The text spoke of a sacred relic known as the Tapestry of Aru, an artifact said to contain the secrets of the universe itself. According to the scroll, the tapestry was hidden within a temple deep in the heart of Nubia, guarded by the descendants of Neith's earliest followers. Determined to uncover the Tapestry of Aru, Nephra bid farewell to the Temple of Thoth and set off for Nubia. Her journey took her through vast deserts and lush oases, her path illuminated by the stars and guided by the constellations. The lands of Nubia were a stark contrast to the arid expanses of Egypt, a place where the ancient traditions of the south mingled with the echoes of Neith's wisdom. As she approached the temple described in the scroll, Nephra was struck by its austere beauty. Carved into the side of a rocky cliff, the temple seemed to rise from the earth itself, its weathered stones inscribed with symbols of power and protection. Nephra entered the temple with a mixture of reverence and determination, her footsteps echoing through the shadowy corridors. The temple's interior was a labyrinth of chambers and passageways, each one adorned with intricate carvings and statues of the gods. Nephra felt the presence of the goddess Neith guiding her steps, her senses attuned to the faint pulse of divine energy that permeated the air. At the heart of the temple, she found a vast chamber, its walls covered in vibrant murals depicting the creation of the world and the balance of cosmic forces. In the center of the chamber stood the tapestry of Aru, a magnificent work of art that shimmered with an otherworldly light. The tapestry, woven from threads of gold and silver, depicted the universe in all its complexity, the stars and planets, the cycles of life and death, and the eternal dance of creation and destruction. Nephra approached the tapestry with awe, her eyes tracing the intricate patterns that seemed to move and shift before her gaze. As she stood before the tapestry, Nephra felt a profound sense of connection to the divine. The threads of the tapestry seemed to pulse with life, their patterns resonating with the rhythm of her own heartbeat. She reached out to touch the tapestry, her fingers brushing its cool surface, and in that moment, a vision overwhelmed her senses. Nephra saw the universe in all its glory, the vast expanse of stars and galaxies, the intricate web of connections that bound all things together. She saw the birth and death of worlds, the flow of time and space, and the eternal balance that held the cosmos in harmony. At the center of the vision, she saw Neith, her hands weaving the threads of existence with a grace and wisdom that transcended all understanding. The vision deepened, and Nephra found herself standing at the edge of a vast, shimmering sea. The waters stretched out before her, their surface reflecting the light of 1,000 stars. She felt the presence of Neith beside her, a comforting warmth that filled her heart with peace and clarity. The goddess spoke to her, her voice a gentle whisper in the wind. "The heart of the weave is the understanding of the eternal patterns that bind all things," Neith said. "It is the recognition of the divine order within yourself and the universe. To grasp it is to see the interconnectedness of all creation, to know that you are both a part of the tapestry and its weaver." As the vision faded, Nephra found herself back in the temple, the tapestry of Aru glowing softly before her. She felt a profound sense of enlightenment, her soul filled with the wisdom of Neith and the knowledge of the heart of the weave. The journey that had begun with a desert vision had led her to the deepest truths of existence, revealing the divine patterns that shaped her life and the universe. With the tapestry of Aru as her guide, Nephra returned to the temple of Neith, her heart brimming with the insights she had gained. She shared her discoveries with the priestesses, their eyes lighting up with wonder and reverence. The teachings of the heart of the weave became a central part of the temple's practices, a source of inspiration and guidance for generations to come. Nephra's journey had come full circle, her quest for understanding leading her to the very heart of Neith's mysteries. She had glimpsed the eternal patterns that bound the cosmos together, and her life was forever changed by the wisdom she had received. As she stood before the eye of Neith, her heart filled with gratitude and love, Nephra knew that she was a part of the divine tapestry, her soul woven into the fabric of existence by the hands of the goddess herself. The return journey to Sais was both serene and filled with anticipation. Nephra felt a profound sense of peace after her discovery of the tapestry of Aru and her revelation about the heart of the weave. The journey across the vast desert and through the fertile Nile Delta felt different this time, the landscapes imbued with the divine patterns she had come to understand. Every gust of wind, every ripple in the river seemed to sing of the interconnectedness she had witnessed in her vision. Upon arriving at the temple, Nephra was met with a joyous reception. The priestesses, having awaited her return with bated breath, gathered to welcome her back. Ankhet, her mentor and high priestess, embraced her warmly, her eyes shining with relief and pride. "You have found what you were seeking, haven't you?" she asked, her voice filled with a mixture of awe and curiosity. Nephra nodded, her heart full of gratitude. "Yes, Ankhet, I have seen the heart of the weave and understood the divine order that binds all things. The tapestry of Aru revealed it to me, and the goddess Neith herself has guided me to this truth." The following days were a whirlwind of activity. Nephra shared her experiences with the other priestesses, recounting her journey and the profound insights she had gained. The temple buzzed with excitement and wonder, each priestess eager to learn from Nephra's newfound wisdom. She led them in meditations and rituals inspired by her vision, teaching them to perceive the delicate threads that wove their lives into the cosmic tapestry. Nephra's teachings emphasized the interconnectedness of all existence and the importance of recognizing one's place within the divine order. She spoke of the balance between creation and destruction, the cycles of life and death, and the eternal dance of forces that maintain the harmony of the universe. Her words resonated deeply with the priestesses, who began to see their roles not just as servants of Nith, but as active participants in the weaving of the cosmos. One evening, as the temple was bathed in the golden light of the setting sun, Nephra and Anket stood before the Eye of Neith. The orb, a symbol of the goddess's all-seeing wisdom, glowed softly in the twilight, reflecting the tranquil expressions on their faces. Anket turned to Nephra, her voice tinged with both reverence and pride. "You have brought great wisdom to our temple, Nephra. The knowledge you have shared will guide us for generations, but I sense there is more you have yet to tell." Nephra nodded, her gaze fixed on the glowing orb. "The heart of the weave is more than a concept, Anket. It is an experience, a way of understanding and living in harmony with the divine patterns. We must embody this wisdom in every aspect of our lives and rituals. Our temple can become a beacon of this understanding, a place where the threads of existence are honored and woven together with purpose and love." Inspired by Nephra's vision, the temple underwent a profound transformation. The priestesses worked together to create a space that reflected the divine order and the interconnectedness of all things. They redesigned the temple's layout to align with the celestial patterns, creating sacred spaces that resonated with the rhythms of the universe. The rituals and ceremonies were infused with the teachings of the heart of the weave, each act a conscious reflection of the cosmic balance. The centerpiece of this transformation was the creation of a new ritual, the Dance of the Tapestry, inspired by Nephra's journey and vision. This ceremony became a central part of the temple's practices, a profound act of communion with the divine order. The priestesses, draped in flowing robes adorned with symbols of creation and destruction, moved in intricate patterns, their steps reflecting the eternal dance of the cosmos. As they danced, they chanted invocations to Neith, their voices blending in a harmonious chorus that seemed to echo through the very fabric of the universe. The ritual space was illuminated by the soft glow of the Eye of Neith, its light casting shimmering reflections on the temple walls. The ceremony culminated in a moment of profound stillness as the priestesses stood together, their hearts and minds attuned to the divine patterns that bound them to the goddess and to each other. The dance of the tapestry became a symbol of the temple's new understanding, a living embodiment of the wisdom Nephra had brought back from her journey. It drew pilgrims and seekers from across the land, each one drawn by the promise of enlightenment and the chance to experience the divine order firsthand. The Temple of Neith flourished, its influence spreading far beyond the boundaries of Sais, as people from all walks of life sought to align themselves with the cosmic balance. Nephra's role within the temple continued to evolve. She became not only a revered teacher but also a guide for those seeking to understand their place within the divine tapestry. She led meditations and vision quests, helping others to perceive the hidden threads that connected their lives to the greater whole. Her presence was a source of inspiration and comfort, her wisdom a beacon that illuminated the path to enlightenment. Yet despite her elevated status, Nephra remained humble and grounded. She understood that her journey was ongoing, that the wisdom she had gained was but a glimpse of the eternal mysteries that lay beyond her comprehension. She continued to seek Neith's guidance, her heart open to the revelations that each new day might bring. One morning, as the first light of dawn filtered through the temple's windows, Nephra stood before the tapestry of Aru. The artifact, now housed within a specially designed chamber, radiated a soft, ethereal glow. Nephra reached out to touch its surface, her fingers brushing the golden threads that depicted the cosmic patterns she had come to understand. As she gazed upon the tapestry, Nephra felt a deep sense of peace and fulfillment. Her journey had brought her to the heart of Neith's wisdom, revealing the divine order that bound all things together. She had become a part of the eternal dance, her life woven into the fabric of existence by the hands of the goddess herself. With a heart full of gratitude and a soul alight with purpose, Nephra turned away from the tapestry and walked out into the temple courtyard. The morning sun bathed the landscape in a golden glow, its warmth a gentle caress on her skin. She felt the presence of Neith all around her, in the rustle of the palm fronds, the chirping of the birds, and the distant murmur of the river. Each moment, each breath, was a testament to the divine pattern she had come to cherish. As she stood there, Nephra understood that her journey was both complete and yet just beginning. The heart of the weave was not a destination, but a way of being, a continuous process of alignment and harmony with the divine order. With this realization, she felt a profound sense of connection to the universe and to the goddess Neith, her soul resonating with the eternal rhythms that bound all creation. Nephra's legacy endured long after her time. The teachings of the heart of the weave became a cornerstone of the temple's practices, inspiring generations of priestesses and seekers to align themselves with the divine patterns. The Temple of Neith flourished, its influence spreading far and wide, a beacon of wisdom and enlightenment in a world ever seeking the mysteries of existence. In the annals of history, Nephra's name was remembered with reverence and gratitude, her life a testament to the power of faith, wisdom, and the eternal dance of creation and destruction. Her journey had woven her into the very fabric of the universe, her soul a shining thread in the tapestry of existence, forever guided by the gentle hand of the goddess Neith. The years passed, and Nephra's influence within the Temple of Neith continued to grow. Her teachings about the heart of the weave had transformed not just the temple, but had resonated throughout the land, reaching other temples and scholars who sought to understand the divine patterns she had discovered. Yet, with this influence came challenges and new responsibilities that Nephra had to navigate with wisdom and care. One day, as Nephra was leading a meditation on the interconnectedness of all life, she noticed a new presence among the worshippers. A young woman, dressed in simple robes, sat at the edge of the circle, her eyes filled with a mixture of awe and trepidation. After the session, the woman approached Nephra, bowing deeply in respect. "Great priestess," she began, her voice trembling slightly. "My name is Layla. I have come from the temple of Isis in Philae, seeking your guidance. Our high priestess has heard of your teachings and believes that the wisdom of the heart of the weave might hold the key to solving a crisis we face." Nephra's curiosity was piqued. She had heard of the temple of Isis, a revered place of worship dedicated to the goddess of magic and motherhood. "What is this crisis?" she asked gently, guiding Layla to a quiet alcove where they could speak privately. Layla explained that the temple of Isis had been experiencing disturbances in their sacred rituals. The energies that once flowed harmoniously had become erratic, and the priestesses found their spells and invocations disrupted by an unknown force. They had tried various remedies and consultations with other temples, but nothing seemed to restore the balance. "Your teachings about the divine patterns and the cosmic balance have inspired hope among us," Layla said earnestly. "We believe that understanding the heart of the weave might help us identify and correct the imbalance that plagues our temple." Nephra felt a deep sense of empathy for Layla and her temple. She understood the fear and uncertainty that came with such disturbances, having faced her own trials on her journey to understanding Neith's wisdom. "I will come to Philae and see what I can do to help," she said, placing a reassuring hand on Layla's shoulder. "Together, we will seek to restore harmony to your temple." The journey to Philae was long and arduous, but Nephra was determined to assist her fellow priestesses. As she approached the island temple, she was struck by its serene beauty. The temple of Isis stood majestically by the river, its columns and statues bathed in the golden light of the setting sun. Yet, beneath the surface beauty, Nephra could sense the undercurrent of unease, a discordant note in the otherwise harmonious landscape. The high priestess of Isis, a dignified woman named Merit, greeted Nephra with a warm yet weary smile. "We are honored by your presence, Nephra," she said, leading her through the temple's grand halls. "Our hope rests on your understanding of the heart of the weave." Nephra spent the next several days observing the temple's rituals and examining the areas where the disturbances were most pronounced. She could feel the energies of the temple, once vibrant and fluid, now tangled and disrupted. The patterns of the divine weave were twisted and frayed, their harmony disrupted by an unseen force. In the cool, shadowed halls of the temple, Nephra meditated deeply, seeking guidance from Neith. She felt the goddess's presence, a comforting strength that filled her with clarity. The answer, she realized, lay in understanding the source of the disturbance and how it affected the divine patterns that governed the temple. Nephra called together the priestesses of Isis and shared her insights. The imbalance you are experiencing is not just a disruption of energy, but a misalignment of the divine patterns that connect us to the cosmos, she explained. We must identify what has caused this disruption and realign ourselves with the cosmic balance. With the priestess's help, Nephra traced the disturbance to an ancient statue in the temple's inner sanctum. The statue, a beautiful yet enigmatic representation of Isis, had recently been restored and repositioned as part of an effort to rejuvenate the temple. Nephra sensed that while the intentions behind the restoration were pure, the statue's new placement had inadvertently disrupted the flow of energy within the temple. This statue is a powerful conduit of divine energy, Nephra said, her fingers lightly touching the cool stone surface. Its position within the temple is crucial to maintaining the balance. We need to find a placement that aligns with the cosmic patterns and restores harmony. Working together, Nephra and the priestesses used their combined knowledge of sacred geometry and cosmic alignment to determine the optimal position for the statue. They moved it to a location where the energy flow was strongest, a place where the light of the morning sun would touch it first, symbolizing renewal and the harmonious integration of divine forces. As the statue settled into its new position, a palpable sense of relief and harmony filled the temple. The energies that had been tangled and chaotic began to flow smoothly once more, and the disturbances in the rituals ceased. The priestesses of Isis, their faces alight with joy and gratitude, embraced Nephra, their hearts filled with renewed faith and hope. Nephra remained in Philae for several weeks, helping the priestesses to integrate the teachings of the heart of the weave into their practices. She taught them to perceive and honor the divine patterns in all aspects of their worship, to see their rituals not just as acts of devotion, but as conscious alignments with the cosmic balance. The Temple of Isis flourished under this new understanding, its rituals and ceremonies resonating with a profound sense of harmony and purpose. When it came time for Nephra to return to Sais, she did so with a deep sense of fulfillment. Her journey to Philae had strengthened her belief in the interconnectedness of all temples and traditions, each one a vital thread in the tapestry of the divine order. She knew that the wisdom she had shared would continue to guide the priestesses of Isis and inspire others to seek harmony in their own practices. Back at the Temple of Neith, Nephra was greeted with open arms. The priestesses listened eagerly as she recounted her experiences in Philae, drawing parallels between their own practices and those of the Temple of Isis. The teachings of the heart of the weave continued to evolve, enriched by Nephra's journey and the insights she had gained. Nephra's legacy as a seeker and teacher of divine wisdom endured, her life a testament to the power of understanding and aligning with the cosmic balance. She had woven her own thread into the eternal tapestry, her journey a shining example of the profound connections that bound all existence together. As she stood once more before the eye of Neith, her heart filled with gratitude and love, Nephra knew that her quest for wisdom and harmony was a journey without end, a dance that would continue to shape her soul and the souls of those she touched for generations to come. Nephra's influence grew beyond the Temple of Neith, reaching distant lands and resonating with those seeking a deeper connection to the divine order. Her wisdom spread through the hearts and minds of people, guiding them to find harmony within themselves and with the world around them. The temple at Sais became a beacon of light, attracting scholars, priests, and seekers from all corners of the known world. Each visitor, drawn by the teachings of the heart of the weave, carried back with them the seeds of cosmic balance, planting them in their own communities. One crisp morning, as the first light of dawn kissed the temple's stone walls, Nephra received an unexpected visitor. A tall, regal woman with eyes that seemed to hold the mysteries of the universe stood at the entrance. Her robes, woven with intricate patterns of gold and silver, shimmered in the early light. She introduced herself as Arama, a high priestess from the Temple of Mot in Thebes, the city of 100 gates. "I have heard of your teachings, Nephra," Arima said, her voice a gentle whisper of wind across the desert sands. "The wisdom of the heart of the weave has reached even the great Temple of Mot, and we are in need of your guidance." Nefra invited Arima to sit with her in the temple's inner sanctum, where the Eye of Neith watched over them with its eternal gaze. Arima spoke of a troubling imbalance within the Temple of Mot. The sacred scales, used in rituals to judge the hearts of the departed, had begun to sway erratically, casting doubt and confusion among the priestesses. The scales, a symbol of divine justice and balance, had always been a steadfast tool in their rites, but now they seemed to reflect chaos rather than order. "We have tried everything within our knowledge to restore the scales, but the disturbance persists," Arima explained, her eyes filled with a quiet plea for help. "We believe that understanding the divine patterns as you have taught might hold the key to restoring their balance." Nefra listened intently, her mind turning over the possible causes of the imbalance. She sensed that the problem was not just with the scales, but with the very essence of balance that they represented. "I will come to Thebes and see what I can do," she said, her resolve firm. "The principles of the heart of the weave may indeed provide a solution." The journey to Thebes was a long one, but Nefra felt a deep sense of purpose guiding her steps. As she approached the Temple of Mot, she marveled at its grandeur. The temple stood as a testament to the pursuit of truth and justice, its towering columns and expansive halls adorned with scenes of the gods and the souls of the dead being weighed against the feather of Mot. The high priestesses of Mot welcomed Nefra with open arms, their faces lined with worry but also hope. They led her to the sacred chamber where the scales were kept, a place of solemn reverence and profound spiritual significance. Nefra could feel the tension in the air, the delicate threads of divine balance stretched taut and frayed by an unseen force. She spent several days observing the rituals and speaking with the priestesses. The scales, once a symbol of unwavering justice, now swayed unpredictably, casting doubt on the judgments they rendered. Nefra could see that the imbalance was not merely physical but spiritual, a disturbance in the underlying harmony that the scales were meant to reflect. Nefra meditated deeply in the sacred chamber, seeking guidance from Neith and the principles of the heart of the weave. She felt the presence of the goddess, a gentle yet powerful force that filled her with clarity. The answer, she realized, lay in the alignment of the temple's rituals with the cosmic balance. "The scales are a reflection of the divine order," Nefra explained to the assembled priestesses. "When they sway, it is a sign that the balance within the temple, and perhaps within yourselves, has been disturbed. We must realign our practices and our hearts with the cosmic patterns to restore their equilibrium." With Nefra's guidance, the priestesses of Mot undertook a series of rituals designed to realign the temple's energy with the divine patterns. They cleansed the sacred chamber, purifying it with incense and sacred chants. They performed meditations on balance and justice, focusing on harmonizing their own energies with the principles they served. Nefra led them in a ceremony that honored both Mot and Neith, invoking the power of the scales and the cosmic weave to restore harmony. The culmination of these efforts was a grand ritual held under the light of a full moon. The scales, bathed in the silvery glow, stood at the center of the chamber, surrounded by the priestesses who chanted invocations to the gods. Nefra, her hands raised in supplication, called upon Neith and Mot to bless their efforts and restore the balance. As the ritual reached its peak, a hush fell over the chamber. The scales, which had swayed so erratically, began to steady. The priestesses watched in awe as the pans of the scales came to rest, perfectly balanced. A sense of profound peace filled the chamber, a tangible feeling of alignment with the divine order. Tears of relief and joy flowed down the faces of the priestesses as they embraced Nefra, their hearts filled with gratitude. The scales of Mot had been restored, their balance a testament to the power of understanding and aligning with the cosmic patterns. Nefra stayed in Thebes for several weeks, helping the priestesses integrate the teachings of the heart of the weave into their daily practices. She taught them to perceive the divine patterns in all aspects of their lives, to see their judgments and rituals as reflections of the greater cosmic balance. The Temple of Mot flourished under this new understanding, its rites and ceremonies resonating with a profound sense of justice and harmony. When it was time for Nefra to return to Sais, she did so with a heart full of fulfillment and a spirit renewed by the experience. She had once again witnessed the power of the divine patterns to restore balance and harmony, and she carried this wisdom back to her own temple, where it continued to inspire and guide her. Back at the Temple of Neith, Nephra was welcomed with joy and celebration. The priestesses listened eagerly as she recounted her journey and the restoration of the scales of Mot. Her teachings continued to evolve, enriched by her experiences and the insights she had gained from her travels. Nephra's legacy grew ever stronger, her name becoming synonymous with the pursuit of wisdom and the understanding of the divine order. The Temple of Neith became a place of pilgrimage, a center of learning and enlightenment, where seekers from all walks of life came to learn the principles of the heart of the weave. Nephra's life was a testament to the power of aligning oneself with the cosmic balance, a journey that continued to shape her soul and the souls of those she touched for generations to come. As she stood once more before the Eye of Neith, her heart filled with gratitude and love, Nephra knew that her quest for wisdom and harmony was a journey without end, a dance that would continue to resonate through the eternal patterns of the universe. Years flowed like the Nile, carrying Nephra through new phases of life and learning. Her teachings had spread across Egypt and beyond, but Nephra herself felt an evolving call to delve deeper into the mysteries of the heart of the weave. She sensed there was more to discover, realms of understanding yet to be unlocked. This internal drive brought her to an unexpected crossroads, as a series of omens hinted at a distant land where the answers she sought might be found. It began with a dream. Nephra stood at the edge of a vast, shimmering lake surrounded by towering mountains. The water, a mirror of the heavens, reflected constellations she had never seen, each star connected by threads of light. From the center of the lake emerged a figure cloaked in mist, holding a staff adorned with ancient symbols. The figure extended a hand toward Nephra, a silent invitation to embark on a new journey. When she awoke, Nephra felt a profound pull toward this mysterious place. Consulting the temple's archives and discussing her vision with the priestesses, she identified the lake from her dream as Lake Morris, located in the remote Fayum oasis, a place where ancient wisdom was rumored to be hidden. The lake and its surrounding lands were known for their enigmatic ruins and myths of forgotten gods, a confluence of spiritual energies that intrigued Nephra deeply. After preparing for the journey, Nephra set out toward the Fayum oasis, her heart filled with anticipation and a hint of apprehension. The journey took her through fertile valleys and arid deserts, each step bringing her closer to the shimmering water she had seen in her dream. As she approached the oasis, the landscape transformed, lush vegetation and the sparkling lake creating a stark contrast to the surrounding desert. Arriving at Lake Morris, Nephra was struck by its serene beauty. The waters reflected the sky, just as in her dream, and the air was filled with a profound stillness, as if the lake itself were holding its breath. She felt the presence of ancient spirits, their whispers carried on the wind, guiding her toward a crumbling temple on the lake's edge. The temple, half submerged and overgrown with reeds, radiated a sense of timeless wisdom. Inside the temple, Nephra discovered faded murals depicting gods and goddesses she had never seen before, their forms intertwined with the stars and elements. These deities seemed to represent aspects of the cosmic weave she had not yet encountered, suggesting a deeper layer of the divine patterns she sought to understand. At the center of the temple was an ancient stone altar, upon which lay a weathered scroll covered in symbols that pulsed with a faint, ethereal light. As she approached the altar, the air around her seemed to shimmer, and Nephra felt herself transported into a vision. She stood once more by the lake, but this time the figure from her dream appeared before her in vivid detail. The figure was a majestic woman with eyes like the night sky, holding a staff that glowed with the light of 1,000 stars. She introduced herself as Maitia, a guardian of the ancient wisdom that lay hidden within the lake's depths. "Your journey has led you here, Nephra," Maitia said, her voice resonating like 1,000 echoes. "You seek the deeper patterns that bind the universe, the hidden truths that lie beneath the surface of the divine weave. To understand these truths, you must immerse yourself in the waters of knowledge and allow the currents of time and spirit to guide you." Nephra felt a profound connection to Maitia, sensing that this guardian was a reflection of Neith's wisdom, manifested in a form she could comprehend. She nodded, her heart open to the challenge before her. With Maitia's guidance, she waded into the lake, the cool waters enveloping her in a cocoon of light and sensation. The lake seemed to pulse with energy, each ripple a whisper of ancient knowledge. As she submerged herself, Nephra was enveloped by visions. She saw the cosmos unfolding in intricate patterns, each star and planet connected by threads of light that wove through time and space. She witnessed the creation of worlds, the birth and death of stars, and the dance of galaxies, all part of the eternal tapestry she had come to understand as the heart of the weave. In these visions, Nephra perceived new layers of the divine order, an intricate interplay of forces and energies that transcended her previous understanding. Emerging from the waters, Nephra felt transformed. Her mind was filled with new insights, her soul resonating with the cosmic rhythms she had experienced. She understood that the patterns she had seen were not static but dynamic, constantly evolving and intertwining, each thread a reflection of the divine consciousness that permeated all existence. She realized that her journey was not just about discovering the patterns, but becoming one with them, embodying the harmony and balance they represented. Returning to the temple, Nephra found that the scroll on the altar now glowed with a vibrant light. She carefully unrolled it, revealing symbols and diagrams that mirrored the visions she had seen in the lake. These writings, she understood, were a record of the ancient wisdom guarded by Maitia, a testament to the deeper layers of the cosmic weave that she had begun to comprehend. The scroll contained teachings on the cycles of creation and destruction, the interplay of forces that maintain the balance of the universe, and the role of consciousness in weaving the patterns of reality. Nephra spent the following days studying the scroll and integrating its teachings into her own understanding. She realized that the heart of the weave was not just a philosophical concept, but a living practice, a way of aligning oneself with the dynamic forces of the cosmos. She understood that her role as a priestess was to embody these teachings, to become a conduit for the divine patterns she had witnessed, and to guide others on their own journeys toward understanding and harmony. As she prepared to leave the Fayum oasis, Nephra felt a deep sense of fulfillment. She had discovered a profound layer of the cosmic weave, one that would continue to inspire and guide her in her teachings. She carried with her the scroll and the wisdom it contained, knowing that it would be a source of enlightenment for generations to come. Returning to the Temple of Neith, Nephra was greeted with reverence and joy. The priestesses listened with awe as she recounted her journey to Lake Morris and the revelations she had experienced. The teachings of the heart of the weave were enriched by the ancient wisdom she had uncovered, and the temple at Sais became a center of learning, where seekers from across the land came to study the deeper layers of the divine patterns. Nephra's legacy grew even stronger, her name becoming a symbol of the pursuit of wisdom and the embodiment of the cosmic balance. The teachings she brought back from the Fayum oasis continued to inspire and guide those who sought to understand their place within the divine tapestry. As she stood once more before the eye of Neith, her heart filled with gratitude and a profound sense of connection to the universe, Nephra knew that her journey was a continuous dance with the cosmic rhythms, a dance that would resonate through the ages, guiding all who sought the wisdom at the heart of the world. Nephra's return from the Fayum oasis marked a turning point not just in her personal journey, but in the trajectory of the Temple of Neith itself. The wisdom she had gained from Lake Morris and the teachings of Maitia opened new avenues of understanding within her and among the priestesses who looked to her for guidance. The scroll she had brought back became a cherished artifact, studied and revered for its insights into the deeper layers of the cosmic weave. As word spread of Nephra's experiences and the knowledge she had gained, pilgrims and scholars began to flock to Sais from distant lands. They sought not only to learn from Nephra, but to experience firsthand the transformative power of the heart of the weave. The temple flourished as a center of learning and spiritual exploration, its halls echoing with the voices of those who came to study and meditate under Nephra's guidance. Among the visitors was a young scholar named Kemet, who hailed from the city of Alexandria, known for its famed Library of Alexandria. Kemet was drawn to Sais by tales of Nephra's wisdom and the scrolls of knowledge she had uncovered at Lake Morris. He arrived at the temple with a heart full of curiosity and a mind eager to delve into the mysteries of the cosmic patterns. Nephra welcomed Kemet warmly, sensing a kindred spirit in the young scholar. She shared with him the teachings of the heart of the weave and the insights she had gained from her journey to the Fayum oasis. Together, they studied the ancient scrolls, poring over the symbols and diagrams that illuminated the interconnectedness of all things. As they delved deeper into their studies, Nephra and Kemet began to uncover a pattern that transcended individual deities and temples, a pattern that spoke of a universal consciousness woven into the fabric of existence. They realized that the divine patterns were not confined to Egypt alone, but were part of a greater tapestry that encompassed the entirety of the world and beyond. Their studies took them beyond the walls of the temple, traveling to distant lands and engaging with scholars and mystics from different traditions. Nephra and Kemet exchanged knowledge and ideas, weaving together insights from various cultures and philosophies to deepen their understanding of the cosmic weave. During their travels, they encountered challenges and adversaries who sought to disrupt the balance they sought to understand. In one instance, they faced a rogue priestess who had become corrupted by her pursuit of power, seeking to unravel the divine patterns for her own gain. Through courage and perseverance, Nephra and Kemet thwarted her plans, restoring harmony to the affected region and reinforcing their commitment to safeguarding the wisdom they had uncovered. Through these trials, Nephra and Kemet forged a bond that transcended teacher and student. They became trusted allies in their quest for knowledge, supporting each other through moments of doubt and triumph. Together, they continued to unravel the mysteries of the heart of the weave, each revelation strengthening their resolve to share their understanding with others. Back at the Temple of Ninth, Nephra's teachings reached new heights of clarity and depth. The priestesses embraced the expanded vision of the cosmic weave, incorporating its principles into their daily rituals and ceremonies. The temple became not only a sanctuary for worship, but a beacon of enlightenment, drawing seekers from all walks of life who sought to align themselves with the universal harmony Nephra and Kemet illuminated. As the years passed, Nephra and Kemet's collaboration bore fruit in unexpected ways. They authored treaties and scrolls that documented their discoveries, ensuring that future generations would have access to the wisdom they had uncovered. Nephra's name became synonymous with the pursuit of truth and balance, her legacy enduring through the teachings she imparted and the lives she touched. In their twilight years, Nephra and Kemet continued their studies, passing on their knowledge to a new generation of scholars and seekers. They knew that their time in this world was limited, but they took solace in the knowledge that the cosmic patterns they had uncovered would endure, guiding humanity toward a future illuminated by the wisdom of the heart of the weave. As Nephra stood once more before the eye of Neith, her heart filled with gratitude and fulfillment, she reflected on the journey that had brought her to this moment. The dance with the cosmic rhythms had been a lifelong pursuit, a journey of discovery and enlightenment that had shaped her soul and left an indelible mark on the world. She knew that her story was but one thread in the vast tapestry of existence, woven together with the stories of countless others who had sought to understand the mysteries of the universe. And as she closed her eyes and offered a prayer of thanks to Neith, Nephra embraced the eternal dance of the cosmic weave, knowing that her spirit would forever be part of its enduring harmony. In the twilight of her years, Nephra found herself drawn to the quiet solitude of the temple's gardens more frequently. The tranquility of the sacred grove, with its ancient trees and fragrant blossoms, provided a comforting backdrop for contemplation and reflection. As she walked among the pathways, her mind often drifted back to the pivotal moments of her journey, moments of revelation, challenge, and profound connection with the cosmic weave. One autumn morning, as the golden light of dawn filtered through the branches, Nephra was approached by a young initiate named Sati. Sati had been drawn to the temple by tales of Nephra's wisdom and the transformative teachings of the heart of the weave. She had spent years studying under the temple's priestesses, immersing herself in the rituals and practices that honored Neith and the cosmic balance. "Sister Nephra," Sati began, her voice a gentle breeze rustling the leaves, "I have heard whispers among the priestesses of your unparalleled insight into the divine patterns. They speak of your journeys beyond Egypt, of the ancient scrolls and teachings you have uncovered. I come to you now seeking guidance, for I feel a calling within me to understand these truths more deeply." Nephra smiled warmly at Sati, seeing in her the same hunger for knowledge and connection that had driven her own journey so many years ago. She invited Sati to join her beneath the canopy of an ancient sycamore tree, where they sat in quiet communion with the natural world around them. "My dear Sati," Nephra began, her voice carrying the wisdom of a lifetime of exploration, The path of understanding the cosmic weave is not one of simple answers or quick revelations. It is a journey that requires patience, dedication, and a willingness to embrace the unknown. Tell me, what is it that stirs within your heart? What questions do you seek to answer? Sati hesitated for a moment, gathering her thoughts before speaking. I have always felt a deep connection to the natural world, she began earnestly, and to the cycles of life and death that govern all living things. Yet I sense there is more to these cycles than what I have learned within the temple walls. I yearn to understand the deeper rhythms that bind the universe together, to uncover the mysteries that lie beyond our everyday perceptions. Nefra nodded thoughtfully, her mind returning to the teachings she had gleaned from her own encounters with the cosmic weave. The cycles of life and death are indeed a fundamental aspect of the divine patterns, she mused, reflecting the ebb and flow of energies that sustain existence itself. To understand these rhythms, one must first learn to perceive the interconnectedness of all things. With that, Nefra began to share with Sati the foundational principles of the heart of the weave. She spoke of the interplay of forces, creation and destruction, order and chaos, that shape the cosmos. She guided Sati through meditations and rituals, designed to attune her to the subtle energies that flowed through the natural world, inviting her to observe the patterns of growth and decay in the garden around them. As the days turned into weeks and months, Sati became Nefra's devoted student, absorbing the teachings with a hunger for knowledge that mirrored her mentor's own. Together, they explored the ancient scrolls and manuscripts housed within the temple's archives, deciphering the symbols and diagrams that illustrated the intricate dance of the cosmic patterns. Their studies took them deeper into the mysteries of the heart of the weave than either had ventured before. They delved into the principles of balance and harmony, contemplating the role of consciousness in shaping reality and the interconnectedness of all beings across time and space. One day, during a particularly intense meditation session beneath the starlit sky, Sati experienced a profound vision. She saw the cosmos unfold before her eyes, galaxies swirling in intricate patterns of light and shadow. She felt herself merging with the cosmic weave, becoming one with the universal consciousness that Nefra had spoken of. In that moment of transcendence, Sati understood that her journey was not just about acquiring knowledge, but about embodying the wisdom she had gained. She realized that she had been chosen to carry forward the legacy of the heart of the weave, to illuminate the path for future seekers who would come to the temple in search of truth and enlightenment. When she shared her vision with Nefra, the elder priestess smiled with pride and a touch of sadness. "My dear Sati," she said softly, "you have been entrusted with a great responsibility. The cosmic patterns have chosen you to be a guardian of their secrets, to weave their truths into the tapestry of human understanding." Sati bowed her head in reverence, feeling the weight of Nefra's words settle upon her shoulders. She knew that she had been given a rare gift, the opportunity to continue the work that Nefra had begun, to nurture the flame of knowledge that burned within her own heart. In the years that followed, Sati dedicated herself wholeheartedly to her role as guardian of the heart of the weave. She became a revered teacher and mentor within the temple, guiding countless seekers on their own journeys of discovery and enlightenment. Her name, like Nefra's before her, became synonymous with wisdom and the pursuit of cosmic harmony. And as Sati stood before the eye of Neith, her heart filled with gratitude and humility, she knew that her own journey was just beginning. The cosmic weave stretched out before her, like an infinite tapestry, its threads shimmering with the promise of endless discovery and understanding. As she closed her eyes and offered a prayer of thanks to Neith, Sati felt a deep sense of connection to all beings, to the cycles of life and death that bound them together. And as she opened her eyes to the dawn of a new day, she embraced her role as guardian of the heart of the weave, knowing that her spirit would forever be part of its enduring dance through the ages. As the seasons turned and years flowed by, the temple of Neith at Sais continued to flourish under the stewardship of Sati. Her dedication to the teachings of the heart of the weave and her profound insights into the cosmic patterns drew scholars, mystics, and seekers from across Egypt and beyond. The temple became a sanctuary not only for worship, but for contemplation, study, and the exchange of knowledge. One such visitor was a renowned philosopher named Amunet, who hailed from the bustling city of Thebes. Amunate was known for her philosophical treatises on the nature of reality and the interconnectedness of all things. Intrigued by the tales of Sati's wisdom and the teachings of the heart of the weave, she journeyed to Sais in search of new insights and understanding. Upon her arrival, Amunate was greeted warmly by Sati, who recognized in her a kindred spirit, a seeker of truth and a philosopher of the cosmic mysteries. They spent long hours in deep conversation, discussing the nature of existence, the role of consciousness in shaping reality, and the timeless dance of the cosmic weave. Amunate was particularly fascinated by Sati's experiences and revelations regarding the interconnectedness of all beings. She had long contemplated the idea that every action, every thought, created ripples that reverberated throughout the universe, a concept that resonated deeply with the teachings of the heart of the weave. Together, Sati and Amunate embarked on a journey of intellectual exploration, delving into ancient texts, conducting experiments of consciousness, and engaging in philosophical debates that challenged their understanding of the cosmic patterns. They traveled to distant temples and sacred sites, seeking to uncover hidden truths and expand their perspectives. During their travels, they encountered challenges and adversaries who sought to disrupt the delicate balance they sought to understand. In one instance, they faced a rogue group of scholars who had become obsessed with unraveling the mysteries of the cosmic patterns for their own gain. Through their wisdom and steadfast commitment to harmony, Sati and Amunate thwarted their plans, restoring balance and reinforcing their belief in the sanctity of knowledge. As their bond deepened, Sati and Amunate began to collaborate on a series of treatises and manuscripts that synthesized their discoveries and insights. They authored texts that explored the philosophical implications of the cosmic weave, proposing theories that integrated mystical experiences with empirical observations, a groundbreaking approach that challenged traditional modes of thinking. Their writings attracted attention from scholars and thinkers throughout the known world, sparking lively debates and furthering the discourse on the nature of reality and the interconnectedness of all things. The Temple of Neith at Sais became a center of intellectual inquiry and philosophical exploration, its influence spreading far beyond the borders of Egypt. In the quiet moments between their studies and travels, Sati and Amunate found solace in the natural beauty of the temple's gardens. They walked among the ancient trees and vibrant flowers, contemplating the cosmic rhythms that govern their lives and the lives of all beings. They meditated beneath the starlit sky, feeling the pulse of the universe as it echoed through their souls. One night, as they sat beneath the canopy of an ancient sycamore tree, Amunate shared a vision she had experienced during a deep meditation. She spoke of a vast network of threads that interconnected all beings, human and divine, earthly and celestial, each thread pulsating with the energy of creation and renewal. "Sati," Amunate said softly, her voice carrying the weight of revelation, "I believe that the cosmic weave is not just a metaphorical construct, but a literal manifestation of the interconnectedness of all things. Our studies have led us to the threshold of a new understanding, a vision of reality that transcends the boundaries of individual perception." Sati listened intently, her heart resonating with the truth of Amunate's words. She understood that their journey together had brought them to a profound realization, the realization that the cosmic patterns were not just abstract principles, but living expressions of a universal consciousness that bound together the fabric of existence. In the years that followed, Sati and Amunate continued their collaboration, deepening their understanding of the cosmic weave and its implications for humanity. They authored treatises that challenged conventional wisdom and proposed new theories of consciousness and reality, laying the groundwork for future generations of scholars and seekers. Their teachings inspired a renaissance of thought and inquiry, ushering in an era of intellectual flourishing and spiritual awakening. The Temple of Neith at Sais became a beacon of enlightenment, drawing pilgrims and scholars from distant lands who sought to study under the guidance of Sati and Amunate. And as Sati stood once more before the Eye of Neith, her heart filled with gratitude and humility, she reflected on the journey that had brought her to this moment. She knew that her life's work had been guided by the unseen hand of the cosmic weave, a tapestry of interconnectedness and harmony that transcended the limits of individual understanding. As she closed her eyes and offered a prayer of thanks to Neith, Sati felt a deep sense of peace and fulfillment. She knew that her journey with Amunet had been a testament to the power of collaboration and shared inquiry, a journey that had illuminated the path for future seekers of truth and wisdom. And as the stars twinkled overhead, casting their light upon the temple's sacred grounds, Sati knew that the legacy of the cosmic weave would endure, weaving its threads of interconnectedness and harmony through the ages to come. As the years passed, the Temple of Night at Sais grew in renown, its halls echoing with the footsteps of seekers and scholars drawn by the teachings of Sati and Amunet. The duo's collaborative work on the cosmic weave had sparked a renaissance of thought, spreading far beyond the borders of Egypt. Their treatises and philosophical dialogues became foundational texts in the study of metaphysics and consciousness across the known world. Among the many visitors to the temple was a young astronomer named Thutmose, whose studies had led him to explore the celestial realms and the patterns that govern the movements of the stars. Thutmose had heard of Sati and Amunet's insights into the interconnectedness of all things, and he came to Sais, seeking to integrate their teachings with his own observations of the heavens. Upon meeting Sati and Amunet, Thutmose was struck by their intellectual depth and spiritual resonance. He shared with them his studies of the night sky, the cyclical rhythms of the planets, the dance of the constellations, and the mysteries of cosmic time. Together, they contemplated the parallels between the celestial patterns Thutmose observed and the cosmic weave that Sati and Amunet had explored. In their discussions, they pondered the idea that the cosmic patterns were not confined to earthly phenomena, but extended throughout the vast reaches of space. They delved into ancient texts and astronomical charts, seeking to uncover hidden connections between the movements of the stars and the spiritual energies that permeated the universe. Thutmose proposed theories that linked the cycles of the heavens with the principles of balance and harmony espoused by Sati and Amunet. He hypothesized that the celestial bodies themselves were part of the cosmic weave, a grand symphony of light and energy that played out across the canvas of the night sky. As their collaboration deepened, Sati, Amunet, and Thutmose embarked on a series of expeditions to sacred sites and astronomical observatories across Egypt. They studied alignments of temples with celestial events, deciphered ancient astronomical calendars, and engaged with local astronomers and mystics who shared their reverence for the stars. During one particularly memorable journey to the Great Pyramid at Giza, they witnessed the alignment of the stars with the apex of the pyramid during the winter solstice. They marveled at the precision of ancient architects and astronomers who had built monuments that served as both temples to the gods and observatories of the heavens. In the quiet moments between their travels and studies, Thutmose found himself drawn to the temple gardens, where he would contemplate the mysteries of the cosmos beneath the canopy of ancient trees. He felt a deep connection to the natural world and to the celestial realms above, sensing the presence of the cosmic weave in every leaf, every flower, and every star that adorned the night sky. One night, as they stood atop a sacred hill overlooking the Nile River, Thutmose shared a vision he had experienced during a meditation under the stars. He spoke of a grand design, a cosmic blueprint that governed the movements of the celestial bodies and the evolution of consciousness throughout the ages. Sati, Amunet, Thutmose said, his voice reverberating with awe. I believe that the cosmic weave is not just a theoretical construct, but a living reality, a manifestation of the divine order that pervades the universe. Our studies have led us to this realization, a revelation that transcends the boundaries of individual disciplines and cultures. Sati and Amunet listened intently, their hearts resonating with the truth of Thutmose's words. They understood that their collaboration had unlocked new dimensions of understanding, a synthesis of philosophy, astronomy, and mysticism that offered a holistic view of the cosmos and humanity's place within it. In the years that followed, Sati, Amunet, and Thutmose continued their exploration of the cosmic weave, publishing treatises and lectures that garnered acclaim throughout the known world. They inspired a new generation of scholars and seekers who sought to unravel the mysteries of existence and to align themselves with the harmonious rhythms of the universe. The Temple of Neith at Sais became a beacon of intellectual inquiry and spiritual enlightenment, drawing pilgrims and scholars from distant lands who sought to study under the guidance of Sati, Amunet, and Thutmose. Their teachings permeated every aspect of temple life, from daily rituals to profound meditations on the interconnectedness of all beings. And as Sati, Amune, and Thutmose stood once more before the eye of Neith, their hearts filled with gratitude and humility, they reflected on the journey that had brought them to this moment. They knew that their collaborative efforts had been guided by the unseen hand of the cosmic weave, a tapestry of interconnectedness and harmony that transcended the limits of individual understanding. As they closed their eyes and offered prayers of thanks to Neith, they felt a deep sense of peace and fulfillment. They knew that their collective journey had been a testament to the power of collaboration and shared inquiry, a journey that had illuminated the path for future seekers of truth and wisdom. And as the stars twinkled overhead, casting their light upon the temple's sacred grounds, Sati, Amune, and Thutmose knew that the legacy of the cosmic weave would endure, weaving its threads of interconnectedness and harmony through the ages to come. As the temple of Neith at Sais flourished under the guidance of Sati, Amune, and Thutmose, its reputation as a center of wisdom and enlightenment continued to spread across Egypt and beyond. Scholars, mystics, and seekers from distant lands journeyed to Sais to study under the tutelage of the trio, drawn by their profound insights into the cosmic weave and the interconnectedness of all things. Among the new arrivals to the temple was a young priestess named Merit. From a remote village nestled along the banks of the Nile, Merit had felt a calling from Neith herself to seek knowledge beyond the confines of her homeland. With a heart full of curiosity and reverence, she made the arduous journey to Sais, eager to immerse herself in the teachings that had captivated her imagination since childhood. Upon her arrival, Merit was welcomed warmly by Sati, Amune, and Thutmose, who recognized in her a soul eager to explore the depths of existence and uncover the mysteries of the cosmic patterns. They shared with her their studies and revelations, guiding her through meditations, rituals, and philosophical discussions that expanded her understanding of the interconnected web of life. Merit proved to be a diligent and devoted student, absorbing the teachings of the cosmic weave with a hunger for knowledge that mirrored the passion of her mentors. She spent hours in the temple's libraries, poring over ancient scrolls and manuscripts that spoke of Neith's wisdom and the sacred geometries that underpinned the universe. Under the guidance of Sati, Amune, and Thutmose, Merit began to discern patterns and connections that had eluded her before. She learned to perceive the subtle energies that flowed through all things, the rustling of the leaves in the temple gardens, the shimmering of the stars in the night sky, and the beating of her own heart as it resonated with the pulse of the cosmos. One day, during a meditation beneath the boughs of a sacred olive tree, Merit experienced a profound vision. She saw herself standing at the center of a vast web, a tapestry woven from threads of light and shadow, connecting every being in existence. She felt herself merging with the cosmic weave, becoming one with the universal consciousness that Sati, Amunet, and Thutmose had spoken of. In that moment of clarity, Merit understood that her journey was not just about acquiring knowledge, but about embodying the wisdom she had gained. She realized that she had been chosen to carry forward the legacy of the Temple of Neith, to illuminate the path for future seekers who would come to Sais in search of truth and enlightenment. When she shared her vision with Sati, Amunet, and Thutmose, they nodded with knowing smiles. "Merit," Sati said gently, "you have been touched by Neith's grace. The cosmic patterns have chosen you to be a guardian of their secrets, to weave their truths into the tapestry of human understanding." Merit bowed her head in reverence, feeling the weight of her calling settle upon her shoulders. She knew that she had been given a sacred trust, the opportunity to continue the work that Sati, Amune, and Thutmose had begun, to nurture the flame of knowledge that burned within her own heart. In the years that followed, Merit dedicated herself wholeheartedly to her role as a priestess of Neith and guardian of the cosmic weave. She became a beloved teacher and mentor within the temple, guiding countless seekers on their own journeys of discovery and enlightenment. Her name, like those of her mentors before her, became synonymous with wisdom and the pursuit of cosmic harmony. Together with Sati, Amune, and Thutmose, Merit authored new treatises and philosophical dialogues that expanded upon their collective understanding of the cosmic patterns. They explored the intersections between theology, philosophy, and astronomy, proposing theories that integrated mystical experiences with empirical observations, a holistic approach that resonated deeply with scholars and seekers alike. Their writings continued to inspire a new generation of thinkers and visionaries, sparking debates and conversations that enriched the intellectual landscape of their time. The Temple of Neith at Sais remained a beacon of knowledge and enlightenment, its influence spreading far and wide as pilgrims and scholars journeyed from distant lands to study under the guidance of Merit and her esteemed mentors. And as Merit stood once more before the eye of Neith, her heart filled with gratitude and humility, she reflected on the journey that had brought her to this moment. She knew that her life's work had been guided by the unseen hand of the cosmic weave, a tapestry of interconnectedness and harmony that transcended the limits of individual understanding. As she closed her eyes and offered a prayer of thanks to Neith, Merit felt a deep sense of peace and fulfillment. She knew that her journey with Sati, Amunet, and Thutmose had been a testament to the power of collaboration and shared inquiry, a journey that had illuminated the path for future seekers of truth and wisdom. And as the stars twinkled overhead, casting their light upon the temple's sacred grounds, Merit knew that the legacy of the cosmic weave would endure, weaving its threads of interconnectedness and harmony through the ages to come. As the years unfolded at the Temple of Neith in Sais, the teachings of Sati, Amunet, Thutmose, and Merit continued to resonate throughout Egypt and beyond. The temple had become not only a center of philosophical inquiry and spiritual enlightenment, but also a hub of cultural exchange and intellectual discourse. One summer evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and cast a golden glow over the temple's whitewashed walls, a delegation of scholars from the distant kingdom of Kush arrived at Sais. They came seeking the wisdom of the temple's esteemed philosophers, drawn by tales of their profound insights into the cosmic weave and the mysteries of existence. Among the delegation was a young scholar named Kandake, known for her keen intellect and deep reverence for the ancient traditions of her people. She had heard whispers of the Temple of Neith and the luminaries who dwelled within its walls, Sati, Amunet, Thutmose, and Merit, and she had traveled far to seek their guidance. Upon their arrival, Kandake and her companions were welcomed with open arms by the priests and priestesses of Neith, who escorted them to the inner sanctum, where Sati, Amunet, Thutmose, and Merit awaited. The air was thick with anticipation as the scholars exchanged greetings and settled into a circle of cushions arranged around a low table adorned with offerings of incense and flowers. Sati, as the elder and spiritual leader of the temple, began the conversation with a prayer of gratitude to Neith, invoking her wisdom and guidance. The flickering light of oil lamps cast shadows on the faces of the assembled scholars as Sati spoke of the temple's mission to explore the interconnectedness of all things and to unravel the cosmic patterns that govern the universe. Kandake listened intently, her dark eyes sparkling with curiosity as Sati recounted the temple's history and its foundational principles. She spoke of the ancient texts that had inspired their journey, the scrolls of wisdom passed down through generations, containing secrets of the cosmic weave and the harmonies of creation. Amunet, with her scholarly demeanor and piercing intellect, expanded upon Sati's words, delving into the philosophical implications of their studies. She spoke of the parallels between the cosmic patterns and the cycles of life and death, arguing that each individual existence was but a thread in the grand tapestry of the universe. Thutmose, ever the astronomer and observer of the heavens, shared his insights into the celestial harmonies that mirrored the cosmic weave. He spoke of the alignments of stars and planets that influenced earthly events, weaving a narrative of interconnectedness between the celestial and terrestrial realms. Merit, with her gentle wisdom and intuitive understanding, offered reflections on the spiritual dimensions of their studies. She spoke of her own journey of awakening and the profound visions she had experienced, revealing glimpses of the divine order that underpinned the cosmos. As the evening wore on, the scholars engaged in lively debates and discussions, exchanging ideas and theories that bridged cultural divides and expanded their collective understanding. They spoke of the similarities between the teachings of Neith and the ancient wisdom of Kush, finding common ground in their reverence for the natural world and the unseen forces that shaped human destiny. In the days that followed, Kandake and her fellow scholars immersed themselves in the teachings of the temple, studying ancient texts, participating in rituals, and engaging in philosophical dialogues that challenged their preconceptions and expanded their horizons. They forged bonds of friendship and mutual respect with Sati, Amunet, Thutmose, and Merit, exchanging knowledge and wisdom that enriched both the temple and their own traditions. Before departing Sais, Kandak stood once more before the Eye of Neith, her heart filled with gratitude and awe. She knew that her journey had been guided by a higher purpose, to seek unity and understanding among diverse cultures, to honor the interconnectedness of all beings, and to carry forward the teachings of the temple into the world beyond. As she closed her eyes and offered a silent prayer of thanks to Neith, Kandak felt a profound sense of peace and clarity. She knew that the lessons she had learned at the Temple of Neith would guide her on her path, illuminating the way forward as she continued her journey of exploration and discovery. And as the stars shimmered overhead, casting their light upon the temple's sacred grounds, Kandake knew that the legacy of Sati, Amune, Thutmose, Merit, and the Temple of Neith would endure, a beacon of wisdom and enlightenment for generations to come.